Hey gang, welcome to Coco Jar Corner this evening. Yep, you see it. It's the lunar full moon. It's a lunar eclipse full moon, and it's a blood moon. And the blood moon is something that's really, we feel this uneasiness, and I'm sure some of us feel some of this energy is really kind of scattered around. Well, that's normal. And we tend to be very, very thirsty because the change of energy that's coming is really when we have to say and let go of things. In the last 3 years, we have gone through a lot of changes. And in fact, today is here in the state is the voting. Um, and there's going to be a change of maybe government, and a lot of these old system is finally breaking down. And so when things starts to break down, you get this scatteredness all around of uncertainty. And especially people who has really counted their livelihood or their work or the way they've been doing it through the old system is start to see it crumble. For example, great example, Twitter. Elon Musk, he is changing um, the way Twitter is working. Um, Back 3 years ago, you know, they were kicking out people if they didn't like what they were hearing and saying and certain things. And so all of these kind of messages of communication is going to start to scatter all around, because now people see it where it's fake news or the media is not there. And so everyone starts to have their own brand new resources. And so all of that new way of talking and communicating is going to change. I mean, for example, there's a huge war against this one rapper named Kanye West, and they're kicking him out from the bank, kicking him out from certain media outlet, kicking him out because he's saying things that may or may not be true. But the thing is that because his voice and his platform is so loud, it's only getting bigger on how the way of communication is going to really be on the platform, especially when the election is going to come through. We're already hearing what's happening in Brazil. People is just upset what's happening with, just recently with the passing of, the Queen, how the UK is going to be changing. So a lot of these changes from the old is going to start to rumble and shatter all over because it's really a scatter of power. And when that happens, a lot of coming out of secrets and things like that is going to start to reveal, because when the change of guards because of financial ways will also change the way of people doing currency, the way people doing their system. Some people are already starting their own in-house finance where they are out there to really help people, you know, to go forward. And there's some companies that don't want you to go forward and they want you to stay in a certain way of doing it. So there is all different kind of things going to start to happen. There is going to be, like I said from the last video, about war. And war meaning, what's happening in Ukraine or what's happening going to be on the forefront is the political war. So stay tuned for all of that. Or you can have the choice of just stepping back and let it just go. Because if you put too much into yourself and your energy into all of this, negative things, it's just going to start to break down because the old is breaking down. And a lot of times where people have donated to political parties to just to get their grants or to get their, you know, whatever money from them and strive for their company, they're the one who's going to start to see a huge difference on how the cash flow is going to start to come in for them. And so, because a lot of these changes are changing for a permanent change, because people are already over it with the old, they're creating their new permanent change. And once they get in there, they're going to start to let go of a lot of these thoughts of whatever the NATO say or whatever the Federal Reserve says or whatever, you know, the presidency, the government is saying. They're going to start to really just change the way of thinking. They change the way of law and order, in other words. So all of this is all going to start to erupt, and especially we have to look at what's happening with the U.S. because the U.S. really controls a lot with the financial thing, and with Biden is not really, I hate to say his term of life right now. The condition of mentally, physically, spiritually, he's not there, and it shows. And so there's going to be a lot of those issues, and I'm sure his good old friend Obama will start coming out more than it should be. And so a lot of these things are going to happen. A lot of dramas, a lot of different kind of colors of whether it's now the gender or whether it's the political or whether it's some kind of lives matter. All these colors of things is just going to be splattered all around the energy, and it's way beyond the chaos of what we who just want to live our everyday life in peace. And so that's when we really need to find one is to find ourselves this month and go beyond all of this chaos, because beyond all of this chaos, we need to start to really master on what we have trained ourselves and really what's holding into the future, because what you hold is really the truth. And a lot of times we have people who are just very nosy to a point where they have to find out what's going on, and they create their own chaos, they will create their own drama because they're just being nosy. But a lot of times people who already know what they have and what their visions are, what their future is holding, all of those things really looks ridiculous. And so a lot of times people who are very narcissistic, a lot of times people that are very drama or seeking for drama or just being plain old nosy just because, all of them is all going to start to, their life around them is really not going to, people are not going to be paying any more attention, really, because nobody gives a beep about that, because they're just being really attention seekers. They don't have a life because they can't figure out their own life when it comes down to. And so they have to look for some other people's misery, or looking to create some kind of misery to something. And that's what happened in the last 3 years when you look at it, whether it's your friends, your family, your neighbor, your loved ones, your significant others. All of this is all coming down to really a time to really strongly examine it. Examine it in a whole view, and how much really, don't let it bother you, just let it go. And as they say, don't put fuel to the fire, because you can put that fuel and that fire into something that's much more beautiful and much more compassionate. And so that's the difference. That's low energy. Low energy people is meaning is that they're, oh, it's a homeless person down there, or they don't have the money, this and that. A lot of times, low energy people have a lot of time, have a lot of money, and number one, they don't know what they want in their life. So those are the kinds of people, when I talk about low energy people, is that kind of negative vibration that they bring in. And you can feel it through the air. You can feel it through the senses. Because if you're so keen to your surrounding, you know what is a good antenna, right? When you change the channel, before when there was a radio, we'll change the dial to see the frequency, to see the energy, to feel that vibration. And whether it's going to bounce back and make you feel, to dance, to listen, to sing, to feel good. And that's the same kind of things that happens with people. It doesn't matter how long you know them as your friend, or how long you've been married, or how long you've known somebody. Sometimes that channel disrupts itself. And when it disrupts, it's because you are starting to create your own channel, your own vibration, what really connects with you and what resonates you, and really what no longer serves you. You just need to just change the frequency and the channel. And it's there, but you know that it's just too much statics, too much drama, too much low energy, that you can't really want to hear about it. And so that's when we have to really dig deep to create this kind of love, that great energy. And really finding that balance, because there's going to be a lot of yin and yang tug of war of this. And we need to really look into about money and love. And those people who sacrifice a lot for others, this is your time. This is your time when you need to focus on thyself. And when you do that, there is a huge abundance of money and love, of energy really flowing to, that's going to start going to you. Why? Because the low level energy people, all of that is going to start to switch over, because it's going to be given to the people who knows how to really utilize good money and good love. And so really, if you want that piece of that emotion and that high, it's okay, because you deserve it. It's your time to shine. And so really find the internal self, and what is your intention? Pay attention to that, because there's going to be a lot of voices from, like, you're in a classroom and everybody's all talking and everybody's doing all of that, but you have to really find out what is exactly is important to you. And that comes down to self-discipline. That comes down to your structure, and really to set yourself to be free from all these unnecessary, things, because that's when you, like I said, money, your value, as well as how to do it very simplified, because you're a simple person. And sometimes it'd be nice to wear a nice brand name things, because you deserve it. You shouldn't feel guilty. You deserve it. This is when the abundance of money is going to start to roll in for you. So in the next 3 to 6 months, figure out how this is going to start to work at it. And it does take a lot of, like I said, self-discipline a lot of obedience on what you do. Don't worry about the noises outside. Who cares what that person is saying or talking about you? It doesn't matter. Who cares who is gossiping about you? Who cares all these things? Like, sometimes you need to get rid of all that unnecessary noises, all these friends that no longer serves you, all these people or co-workers or neighbors or so-called friends. You know, just be disciplined and start pushing yourself to find out what really makes you happy. Think deeply, because in the next 3 days, put out your crystals to re-energize that, put out your good intention, and most of all, put in your intention of what you want to let go, or it's already the universe is planting its seeds and you got rid of them. The weed whacker came and whacked them out because they created their own, they literally created their own negativity that bounced back like a boomerang, which you guys can see on my other video that I posted. And so really, this is a time to push yourself, whether it's exercising or the sense of changing these bad habits into good habits, the way we move your temple, and how, really, because let me tell you, it's really overdue. And binging and all these extra things that's happening around us, you know what? They're extra. And so really, all of these things, this toxic energy that's flowing, it'll flow huge. And they're only going to get worse in order for it to get better. And so the quality of how you're going to help yourself and how you can use your gift, your talents, and just do it, because you're creating that new frequency of energy. You're developing this new system to help people, to really give them, whether it's that education, whether it's that helping hand of teaching someone, or really giving the guidance of what you want to see in a nice, harmonious way of life. So literally sing your way to your journey. That's what I do. I mean, today for my marketing meeting was set for half an hour, turned into a 2-hour meeting, because everyone was in such a great, easy way of seeing things, because there is a movement. And when there is a good movement, the energy will flow through that good movement. And so really, when we count our blessing in life and we count the richness of life, really, really counting the richness really means that something that money cannot buy. Those are really the richness of life. And so really take this really blood moon, and the blood is really our energy of life. And sometimes people may stab you in the back, and sometimes people may just do things that's very unconsciousness of themselves. Really is the things that they do bad to you is really the evil spirits of themselves that they have to lurk through behind to see, just like the Wizard of Oz, right? Look at that again and really look into what that real deep meaning is. And throughout all of that, the Oz is behind the screen of a person who was really and that's who you need to be. Be in control. Take control of your life. Don't let all these other nonsense energy of people lurking around or people want to know and be nosy. Do it in your pace. Do it in your life. And most of all, do it for yourself. So this full moon is really a time to get rid of all that things that no longer serves you and really get ready for the new moon that's coming up. And so that 2023 will be another wonderful year for you in a new world. You take care and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the button. I'll see you soon, and most of all, you take care and have a wonderful evening. Aloha.